The Afghan-American Chamber of Commerce serves the interest of its members through numerous programs, advocates for a free and open market economy in Afghanistan, and endeavors to strengthen U.S.-Afghanistan economic relations. AACC's annual U.S.-Afghanistan Business Matchmaking Conference is the world's leading event for promotion of the private sector, business matchmaking, and investment in Afghanistan. AACC works to ensure that Afghanistan's economy and employment of the Afghan people remains a top priority for the U.S. and Afghan policymakers and serves as a link between business and government to encourage progressive economic policies that will result in increased business, job creation, and investment between the U.S. and Afghanistan. We believe that peace and stability can only be achieved in Afghanistan through the success and growth of the private sector. It is the goal of AACC to promote the exchange of information and provide resources to its members through investment conferences, seminars, networking events, publications, and other avenues to stimulate U.S.-Afghanistan business and investment. The Afghan-American Chamber of Commerce, facilitating U.S.-Afghan business, investment, and trade ties.
We are gathered here tonight. It's our 12th annual U.S.-Afghanistan Business Matchmaking Conference, and we welcome you heartily. You are our dear friends. Many of you have suffered going through a harsh visa acquisition process, and for those of you who have acquired visas, those of you with Afghan passports, we are sympathetic to your plight. So many of your colleagues did not get visas, including officials of the Afghan government did not get visas, or the visa process was going to take longer. So welcome to the 12th annual matchmaking conference. By the way, those of you who don't know, I'm Don Ritter. I'm the president and CEO of the Afghan-American Chamber of Commerce, one of its founders, back in 2002. And through thick and thin, the Afghan-American Chamber of Commerce has made it through the years. And these are some difficult years, but we are optimistic. Afghanistan has enormous potential for business, whether it's construction or energy or information and communications and telecom, or whether it's agriculture, or whether it's energy or power. All we need is a little bit more peace over there, and we'll be flying high, and America will be a great partner in that more peaceful future. So in the meantime, we are kind of holding the fort while things stabilize in Afghanistan and investment can get going. So without further ado, first of all, I'd like to introduce my partner in crime here, one Suleiman Lutfi, the CEO of TriVision Media, the chairman for now, what, 5 years? 5 or 6 years of the Afghan-American Chamber of Commerce, and a great contributor, also his company, a great contributor to our success. So at this point, should we introduce our people? Okay. So we have, I'll go right to left. So there's no issue of who should be introduced first. And there's, no one's going to get their nose bent out of joint. Okay, so right now, okay. I'm going to go to Mr. I'm going to go, You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. My left. And Mr. Rizaya is the chairman of the Panjshir Chamber of Commerce. And I love Panjshir. I've trekked in the mountains. I've tried to swim in the river and almost had a heart attack. It was so cold. And next to him is our distinguished former Deputy Minister of Finance, Saeed Mubin Shah Musamam. And he is our commercial attaché at the embassy, and we work very closely with him. Now this guy here, you all recognize him as Atikullah Nusrat. And to me, he's, and he is the CEO of the renowned Afghanistan Chamber of Commerce and Industries. But to me, he's just Atik.
14 years.
14 years we know each other. When AACC was over in Afghanistan setting up what was to be a new chamber of commerce, independent of the government, advocating on behalf of business, totally different from the crony capitalist, government-dominated, guest house-oriented old ACCI. And we worked together for many years, and here he is. He's the president, he's the CEO of this organization, which is amazing. But he does a great job, and I follow, his Facebook page is amazing. I mean, how many pictures can you put on one Facebook page? How many likes can you get for one set of pictures? But he gets it. Okay. And here, his predecessor as the founding president of the Afghan Chamber of Commerce and Industries, Mohammed Qurban Hakjo, we know him as Kabir.
That's right.
He has now been elevated. First he was in charge of ISA and helping to reform ISA, which is such a critical organ of the government of Afghanistan. He is now Deputy Minister.
Afas,
What's that?
Deputy Minister of Commercial Attaché.
I don't know what he said.
He's my boss.
I can never understand his English. You should hear him on the phone. It's impossible. Anyway, Mohammed Qurban Kabir Hakjo is now Deputy Minister of Commerce and Industries, and we see great things in the future for you. As a young guy, I mean, he's gone very far. Here is one of the founders of the Afghanistan Builders Association. AACC also was very much involved when we were putting together this new chamber that now has resulted in ACCI. We decided to have because construction was, at that time, was launching. It was ready to boom and go crazy with U.S. Army Corps and USAID and all these projects, UNOPS, UNDP. And this is, early on, became president of the organization. It was an initial member of AACC back in the founding days of AACC. Our dear friend, Naeem Yassin, president and CEO of the Afghanistan Builders Association. Naeem.
Thank you.
Kadir Bakhman, Abdul Kadir Bakhman, was a deputy under Atikullah Nusrat at ACCI. He has split off a new organization called the International Chamber of Commerce in Afghanistan, and they're doing good business. And Zabiullah Zaramal is his trusted first vice chairman, and he'll be one of our panelists as well. Between them is someone you all know from the Ministry of Finance, the Director General.
Minister of Foreign Affairs.
I'm sorry. I meant foreign affairs. It came out finance. I'm always thinking about money, I suppose. Wahid Waisi, who will be also on a panel on the regional economic opportunities that Afghanistan has. And last but not least, I'm drawing a blank. I did pretty well. If you grade me, I've got...
Mr. Najrobi, he is the board member of AACC Afghanistan.
What's his name?
Mr. Najrobi.
Najrobi. Mr. Najrobi. Nobody has introduced me to Mr. Najrobi, otherwise I would remember him. So we're very happy to have you
We
here.
never got visa to coming to Afghanistan, so probably you should have seen him before because he was the ex-General Consul of Afghanistan in Dubai.
Oh, well, I never got my visas in Dubai.
That's right.
I always got them from our good friends at the Embassy of Afghanistan. Multiple entry, long-term visas.
He could have given you 1 year multiple.
So let's have a big hand. I want to recognize some people in the audience here that are very distinguished. Former, the founder of ISA, when it truly was one-stop shop. You could go in, you could get your license, you can go out, and you could do business. And Noor Dilawari, who then became the governor of the central bank that did the currency transformation, and he has these wonderful stories about donkey carts carrying loads of the old currency into the bank. Noor Dilawari. And then he's a board member of the Afghan-American Chamber of Commerce. We're delighted to have him as a board member. And then he has gone back to the bank, and when Noor Dilawari was governor of the central bank, there was no Kabul bank crisis. Right. I'd like to recognize the senior Lutfi here. We have a bunch of younger Lutfis, and Suleiman and Arsalan is out there somewhat. We see what you get with Suleiman Lutfi is like 5 for the price of 1, you know? And we don't even pay him, you know, so we're all volunteers. So it's really amazing. He brings the whole the whole family. And so senior Lutfi, Ibrahim Lutfi, who was a major businessman in Afghanistan when there was peaceful times, and they had a big steel furniture, steel construction business, and now their Trivision is back. The whole Trivision story is an American dream story, but I'm not going to bother you with it at this point. So let me see. There's the former Cigar, a special investigator for Afghanistan reconstruction, Marine Corps General retired Arnie Fields is here. He's also, our board member of AACC. And while we're on AACC board members, Jeff Grieco. Where's Jeff? Right here, sir. Jeff Grieco is an amazing guy. Come on up here. Come on up. He is someone you're going to hear a lot more from, and he has made major contributions, particularly in the past year, but in years before as well. Jeff, development business, but he for 8 years was George W. Bush, President George W. Communications, USAID, Communications and Legislative Liaison Director, Assistant Administrator of USAID, and which is a Senate confirmation post. So we're really grateful to you, Jeff, for all the contributions you have made. I mean, I am really grateful too, because all of that stuff was on my shoulders until Jeff came along. So let's see, Suleiman. Anybody else out there? Oh, Yama, our treasurer. Yeah, you have to have a good treasurer, especially one doesn't steal your money. And we have a great one in Yama Azami, who's a longtime board member, executive committee member of AACC. He is the founder and president of his own company, Washington Mortgage. And by the way, I heard today that real estate sales, home sales in the Washington, D.C. greater metropolitan area are at a record level. So we're assuming that you can make some contributions to AACC this year, or what? No, just kidding. Just kidding. No, he's a treasurer and keeps us honest. Okay.
Doug Brooks is here.
What's that?
Doug Brooks is here.
Oh, Doug. Where's Doug Brooks? Doug Brooks, come on up here. Doug Brooks is another of our board members, and he's somebody good to know. He was the founding president of the International Security... I never can get it right. It's ISOA. You know, once you know an acronym, you forget what it means. The International Stability Operations Association, and that is all of the great security companies, the Fortune 500 included, and he founded that organization. He is president emeritus of that organization, but right now he's a great board member of the Afghan-American Chamber of Commerce. Good to have you here, Doug. Let's see, I think that's about it, but the real heroes here are those of you who came from Afghanistan, had to get visas, and made it through. We love you for it. I think that kind of concludes our presentation, and we can get back to networking.
I'll just go over the
Okay.
event so people know what's going on.
All right.
Thank you, Don. I just wanted to briefly, again, as Don mentioned, I'd like to thank everyone, especially our Afghan businessmen and women who came all the way from Afghanistan despite the difficult visa situation. So thank all you coming all the way from Afghanistan, and our businesses from the local area or internationally from Dubai and other places, and of course our government officials and our supporting partners whom without this conference would not be possible. I also like to recognize and thank our sponsors. Like Don mentioned, we are a nonprofit organization and we're all volunteers elected for 3-year term yearly basis. We have General Assembly and elections. And our events or conference or activities would not be possible without the support of our sponsors. I don't think I'll have time to recognize them one by one, or if I could get the names listed here, I could quickly recognize some of our sponsors. Our platinum sponsor is Ronald Reagan Building, is one of the key sponsors, which tomorrow you'll attend the conference there across the street. We have Mafkura as a gold sponsor. They're an Afghan company and services. Washington Mortgage, that our treasurer company has always been a supporter. Trivision, Don mentioned already, we're a platinum sponsor. And we have, sorry, I don't have the list in front of me. If you could please, a little bit this way so I can see the logos. Thank you so much. Oxys Group, one of our board members, he could not be here right now, Mr. Asad Mateen. He's been active in Afghanistan. They're a gold sponsor this year. You will hear from them more tomorrow. We have many silver sponsors. I'd like to thank Tetra Tech, a longtime supporter and a sponsor of AACC. They're a silver sponsor. We have Chemonics. We have a team from Chemonics here who will also be speaking, Mina Shirzoi. She'll be on one of our panels. Thank you, Chemonics. And Prius, I think, yes. And I believe, I may get the name right, but yes. So thank you, Chemonics, for the support as always. Page Group is another silver sponsor that I think last year also they were a good sponsor of AACC. We have Smart Dynamic, another sponsor. We have Emerging Consulting, Naeem John, who is not only a sponsor but also has helped AACC this year specifically for our finances and supporting the registration and money of the work. Naeem is right there, and tomorrow you'll see him at the conference. Emerging Consulting has a lot of experience in Afghanistan and also has been very active with AACC and for organizing and registering and handling our finances for us. We have DAI as our silver sponsor. I believe they are also in one of the panels. Peter is here tonight. So thank you, DAI. And I'd like to recognize and thank our bronze sponsors. We have Pashtani Bank as a bronze sponsor. Thank you. I believe so. So hopefully the team from Pashtani is here. If anyone could raise their hand. If not, tomorrow hopefully we'll see them. We have Afghan Logistics. Muqib Jan is right here. He is a good friend and also the President CEO of Afghan Logistics. You will hear, I believe, he's in agriculture panel. He will talk about some opportunities in agriculture. And we have Noble IT Solutions. Hopefully the team is here tomorrow. We'll see them. We have Clemens Worldwide as our bronze sponsor.
Kevin Pedoni is here.
Yes.
Kevin?
Who's here from Clemens?
He was here earlier.
Okay, maybe they left a bit earlier. Someone could give me the names close up, so I'm going to try to read it. AMCI and Saifal Jabri is another bronze sponsor. And we have, is that the last one is National Fuel or which? National Fuel, yes, is another sponsor that I'd like to thank and recognize. Hopefully tomorrow we'll be more prepared so I can have the list. Specifically, we'll have their logos and names appear on screens, and they'll have an exhibit area on the side of the room where you can visit all of these sponsors face to face and talk to them. Again, without their support, we are not supported by any other organization. So AACC is this conference and our activities are funded by these sponsorships and your registration fees that make it possible for us to have this conference. I'm going to quickly go over the event. Tomorrow was a simple welcoming reception, so thank you for attending. Tomorrow is the actual conference, which will start in Ronald Reagan building, which is across the street on Pennsylvania and 14th Street. You can enter from the 14th Street entrance. If you're driving, there's a garage underneath. If you're walking in, 14th Street entrance would be the best. The atrium ballroom is on the left side. So ground level would be the registration tables. If you have pre-registered and you have got the email, you will have your name badge ready. If you did the registration the last couple of days or you kind of want to register tomorrow, our team will make accommodations. David Begg, our former board member, is here. We like to thank him and recognize him. David, he's maybe in the hallway, but David has been a great help as a former board member, former vice president of AACC, and now working with our team to help with registration. So he will be there with the rest of the team to help you with registration or name badges. So make sure, if you haven't registered, to have some patience. They can print name badges for you right there on the spot and make sure you're registered. Or even you can sponsor last minute. We can try to accommodate with pricing and have your company name and logo on the screens and all the website and everything else. So if you're thinking of a sponsorship, we can still make it work last minute for you. Myself and team will be available to help. Like I said, tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. to 9 would be breakfast and also registration. Around 9:15, we will start the conference. For any questions, my colleague, the board members Don just recognized, and our staff, you saw some of them up front, are all available to help. And again, we're volunteers, so we'll do the best we can. And if there's any shortcomings or problems, please forgive us in advance. And thank you again, and hopefully we'll have a good and successful conference tomorrow and the day after. Thank you so much. In the evening, by the way, you're all invited for tomorrow night. We have an award reception downstairs in this JW Marriott. We'll have a dinner reception. We'd like to recognize some of our board members and also give an award for a Business of the Year award to one of the businesses that have been active with AACC. So that's tomorrow night from 6 to 9 p.m. Downstairs at the JW Marriott. Thank you again. I'm open to some questions if someone could take questions. Please.
I have a question. I'm Jack Pagano, Senior Strategist, retired Army Colonel. What's it going to take to get Afghanistan out of the mess it's in right
I wish I had a simple answer that I could answer you right now, but he'll be guessing too.
Okay, the question was, what's it going to take to get Afghanistan out of the mess it's in right now? And the answer is a lot. And we can talk about this in the course of the, I'm sure there'll be a lot of approaches in the course of the conference, the different panels and everything.
If I could give a simple answer, as Afghan-American Chamber of Commerce, we believe in the private sector and economy. So I think with more jobs and the growth and success of the private sector, that's the key to success of Afghanistan. When people have jobs, good economy, security, everything will improve over time. So if we focus more on how to make the businesses more successful, give them more opportunity, create more jobs in Afghanistan, I think eventually that will help with a lot of the issues that Afghanistan have. I mean, not having real decent jobs or uncertainty for the future, these things cause these kind of problems. And hopefully with better attention and investment and private sector growth, that will also help the problem. Thank you. Any other questions?
Let me just say, we're about to have an American president who is all about business. So we have a feeling that the relationships with our foreign partners is going to be about business and less about politics and less about some of the maybe social welfare developments and what have you. But this new administration really looks towards business to drive increased standards of living and business to drive stability. So, any other questions? No, that's okay.
Any questions? Okay, so thank you everyone. Again, I'd like to thank our distinguished supporting partners and government officials. Thank you so much, and we'll all be available tomorrow. And have a good evening. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you again.